Hey y'all, this is Rebecca from Rebecca's Beautiful ASMR Addiction, and we are on the Bizz Johnson Trail in Susanville, California. I know this is not what some people think of as ASMR, but to me, oh my word, this is everything. And that's because we are listening to the sound of bicycle tires on gravel, for one thing, and that's the sound, and the sound of a running stream, you guys. Oh my word. Listen to that. Look at that. You see that? Oh my gosh. You know, it just depends on what kind of person that you are. In descriptions under my videos, I put a definition of ASMR under each one of them. And what some people may not really know is that the definition autonomous sensory meridian response refers to and implies all of our senses. So, wow. Look at that, you guys. So you can get or have tingles from all 5 of your senses: sight, sound, smell, touch. What else am I missing? And therefore, there is no such thing as saying to someone else, this is ASMR, that's not ASMR. Pretty much if it appeals to your senses and it's at the height of your senses, then you are having an ASMR experience. Oh gosh, I don't know why that's so important for me to explain, but when I'm out here, you know, obviously, I'm not watching the video. I'm having a sensory experience with sound. Oh my gosh. Sight. I love pine trees. I love water, big boulders. So my sight is being completely intrigued. And the smell, oh my word, you guys. You see this pine straw on the ground? And then the pine trees themselves give a fragrance like you can't believe. I think it's as good as, if not better, that fragrance than cinnamon or fresh baked bread. I mean, pine scent is right up there with everything for me. But I also really enjoy the sound of this gravelly sound under the tires of my bike. I'm on my electric bike, and it allows me to basically not have to pedal if I don't want to. Helps me get up hills that are way too steep for me and my muscles. Oh man, look at this, you guys. Sound of water. Can you hear the gravel underneath the tires? Love that sound. Love that sound. Whoa. Look at that. Look at that, guys. It's just awesome. Just awesome. So what are we experiencing here? I'm getting sight. I don't like the squeaks of my brakes. I'm getting sight, sound, smell. Look at this. Look at this view. And there's one more. I have one more sense at play here. Let's see, we named sight, sound, smell. I get touch, I get a feeling on my skin when the breeze is blowing, and the sun on my skin, on my face feels so incredible, guys. Okay, that's 4. What sense am I missing? Taste. Oh, taste. Yeah, no, can't taste anything. And I was just telling somebody the other day that I have a 6th sense that gets involved with ASMR for me sometimes, because it turns into rather a spiritual experience as well, because I get enraptured with my God, my Lord and Savior, because He has given this to us. Now, I don't know what spiritual experience is. I mean, I guess that's kind of like a 6th sense, I think. We're facing the sun coming back here. Oh, by the way, yes, this ride, I've already done a no talking version of this video going up the hill. Now we're coming down, and there's a little bit more sun in the sky, so try to keep my camera low, not get sun in anyone's eyes. Ooh, don't look up, don't look up. But it's just an amazingly beautiful fall day, you guys, here in Susanville, California. You know, I really miss the fall trees of Tennessee, where I lived before I moved back to California. And it is, you know, every place that you move to has plus and minus, you know, pros and cons. But because this is where I was raised, it definitely has more of a comforting and familiar feeling. I will never know a spring and a fall ever again, probably like I had in Tennessee. But we get color here, at least we get color, but there's a bit more of a grandeur that I experience there. And of course, you know, wherever you're raised, it kind of, sometimes it can dictate what you love most. Unless you're raised in, I mean, I don't know if you could be raised in a very horrible climate and still love it with all your heart because that's where you were raised. That's where you spent your childhood, you know. You hear that stellar jay? Oh my word. I absolutely love that bird. He has the most raucous, perfect squawk. It reminds me a lot of a red cardinal back in Tennessee. But he's just, they've got a few calls, the stellar jay. The stellar jay is part of the corvid bird family. They are like, I mean, they're in the same family as crows and ravens and whatever, you know, those kinds of birds. Probably magpies too, I don't know, I didn't look that one up. But it's just no wonder. I mean, I love crows. Oh my gosh, this town. Well, of course, Tennessee has a lot of crows too. Boy, I could sure be a blabbermouth and just jump from one subject to another, can't I? I don't know how I manage that. You know, sometimes you think, well, a lot of this is I'm just thinking out loud, but it's also knowing that I might, you know, I feel like I'm talking to somebody because I know some of you are going to hear me. Some of you. Some like my voice for ASMR. And that's one thing. I have never really enjoyed voices in ASMR, but that has changed a little bit since I started my channel. And not my voice, but let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, I gotta tell you this. So my husband, he kind of scoffs at me for. No, he doesn't really scoff at all, actually. But he's just like, "Oh, ASMR, you're so weird, you know." And he says it nicely and playfully. He's not making fun of me. But I say, you know what, Jerry, you are not exempt. Everyone experiences ASMR. Everyone does. And he's all, no, I don't. And I said, yes, you do. I mean, how many times have you fallen asleep watching TV? Why does watching TV make you sleepy? Why do you think it is? There's something lulling and comforting about it. And depending on what you're watching, of course. And so nowadays, it's so cute. My husband, sometimes he just wants to take a real quick cat nap. in the afternoon. And so I'll go, okay, well, oh my word, guys. Look over here. Rocks and things. Anyway, his favorite ASMR video for he says I want to take a little nap, so I turn on a show called Vice Grip Garage, and there are, I mean, it works on me sometimes too. It makes me sleepy, but like him, he just zonks out so fast. And so there's a lot of unintentional ASMR out there, you know. People just doing their thing, and it works. I have a video that I like to watch, a channel, I mean to say, and there's no voices in this one, but it's called Odd Tinkering. Okay, you guys, real quick, let me just tell you about these rocks. They have fallen off of this. We had a little bit of an earthquake, and they fell. The road was blocked here for a little while. Bizz Johnson Trail. And you did tend to feel just a little bit nervous riding your bike through. Because you think, well, it could happen at any minute. But, you know, look around at these. There's a lot of these hills that have that rock. Yeah. Probably it happened when this used to be a railroad. This Bizz Johnson Trail here used to be a railroad. Hold on a second, I want to show you this first. Wow. So pretty. Water's a little bit more distant to there. Anyway, I think I read that Susanville, in fact I did read it, Susanville used to be known for and grew citrus fruit. It was lemons, oranges, and they needed trains to get their fruit sent out to other places in California, but I think also in other states. I'm not sure about that part. I don't know how far this Bizz Johnson Trail goes forever. It's miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. And so Lassen County or Susanville, whoever did it, I don't know, turned the old railroad track into the Bizz Johnson Trail for our riding and walking and wilderness pleasure and experience. There are, okay, let me finish what I was going to say before. other industry here besides citrus growing was timber, of course. You can tell by looking at our trees. We are in the mountains and we have timber. And so there's still a little logging going on around here, but it's very, very minor. Oh wow, you guys, look at this. Oh, so heavenly, so heavenly. So we had timber, and we had a big lumber company, and it's no longer operational. We still have a very big lumber business up in Quincy, California, and that's an hour and a half drive from here, I think. The place I wanted to live once upon a time before I discovered Susanville was Quincy. It has the most amazing rivers there. Oh my gosh. Feather River. We have Susan River. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So then at some point down the line through the years, the invention of cars first and then trucks. And trucks then became more popular for transporting fruit and timber. So that negated the need for a railroad. Look here. We have walkers coming by, so I have to stop a minute here. I love the sound of a distant chainsaw and a low-flying airplane. Low-flying airplane. You know, the smaller ones. And so those are ASMR for me when I hear them. I might just be sitting on my front porch or whatever, you know, and you hear someone cutting on their trees in the fall or the spring. One time, a long time ago, I guess it's been a few years, when I made that video of, it's just a video short that I called anti-ASMR. And I had the sound of a siren, and the sound of a really loud truck, and I had the sound of, what else? It was a really close by chainsaw. Too close. Gosh, what other honking? I don't remember everything that was in the video, but it was supposed to be a joke, you know, anti-ASMR. And I actually had people get on there and say, I love it. That's ASMR for me. I was like, seriously? Like those sounds? It's like all the sounds of the city, you know, honking cars, and truly anti-ASMR for me was wonderful sounds to somebody else. And it gave them tingles or relaxation, whatever that is, you know. It's your autonomous, if you've never thought about it. The definition is basically your own period. Everything that belongs to you. It's no one else's. Autonomous. sensory. Yeah, sensory is, of course, pertains to the senses. So anything, sensory. So your own sensory meridian. Now, that was a tricky word to me. Wow, you guys, look at this. Meridian is, when I looked it up in the dictionary, it seemed to describe, well, it used the word zenith in it, and then zenith, and basically it's the height of, meridian is like, look at those rocks, wow. Oh yes, there's a stream up here. And you can't hardly see it because it's back inside these bushes. So you can't see it. Oh wait, I see a little bit of it. Can you? Barely. This is what's another tributary to our... Okay, here's where it comes down under the road. Isn't that beautiful? So it's going under the road I'm on right now. And you can kind of see some of the motion of the water down there. I don't want to fall over, go down this cliff. Anyway, you can see where it's kind of making a ruckus coming out of there. And then they provide this bench here for you to sit on if you want to just sit and watch all that. Oh my gosh. Someday I'll just sit and... Okay, so what I was saying is meridian. Oh yeah, so we already described that meridian response. So let's go out of order with the definition. It's autonomous sensory meridian response, but it's basically your own highest point in your responses to your senses. So that's what ASMR is. Your own highest, most wonderful response to your senses, whatever those senses are. Basically, it's not just for sight and sound. ASMR, it's not just someone making funky, funny noises in front of a microphone, and it's not just whispering, it's not just a voice. It's that squirrel up on the rock. I'm hoping I can see it. I don't know. I'm not looking at my camera. I'm just kind of... I have my camera on my head. I have a headgear. Oh my gosh. I think he's mad that I'm here. Well, right on, little squirrel. So, anyway. I swear he's following me. Wow. He's really mad. He's going to get out of here, lady. Get out of here. Look at that cliff. Wow. The bridge is so beautiful. Anyway, I really, really dislike it when people say, that's not ASMR. I'm like, what? Where did learn what ASMR is. You can't just watch a couple of videos with somebody clacking together two pieces of wonderfully sounding plastic and say, oh, that's ASMR. This is also ASMR. This is classic ASMR. And nostalgic to some, you know, who have experienced this in their past, which I have. But a lot of people must have a voice because somehow, maybe in their past experience or whatever, they've had a very pleasant experience with voices. And for some reason, at first, I didn't relate to that. Especially because the voices that I was listening to were not voices that I knew. And so it didn't occur to me that I could actually listen to someone's voice long enough to get to know them. Maybe some of you have done that with me, I don't know. You're like, oh, you know, maybe I've become familiar, I guess. Okay, there's a separate path up that way, and I think some animals probably use it. And let's see. I don't know where it goes. Let's see here. Isn't that beautiful? These leaves. There's the bridge. These hills. Amazing. Oh, something else I'm going to tell you is that I had a big scare last year because when I came here, one winter, it was last winter, and I ran into some people they were on their way back, right, from a hike. Get down further here. And they said, oh, better watch out because there's he took a picture of it, a paw print from a bear. And I was just like, all right, I'm turning around, not today. So we do have bear and mountain lion up here. And mountain lion have been spotted in our town as well. So, you know, I started doing a smart thing and bringing, I have some pepper spray on the back of my bike, and I have a whistle that is hanging from my bike, easily accessible. So if I was concerned at all about bear or mountain lion, I've got some protection. But I've also come here on a Saturday when I know there will be a lot of people, and there have been. I just haven't shown you because I'm editing that part out. Just passed some people on the bridge where we just were, and Everybody is so friendly, you guys. So it's almost time for the bear to go into hibernation. I don't know what time of year they do that. Some bears don't hibernate around here because our weather is fairly, it's just not terribly cold. In the mountains, yeah, there's snow and all that. But where I live, I don't have much snow. It'll snow about 3 times a year. And a pretty good snow 3 times a year. But because I don't live in these hills that I'm riding on, I'm riding on Bizz Johnson Trail, which is only just a couple miles from my house, actually. So just 2 miles down the hill can make that much difference in how much snow you get, and whether it melts or not, which it does. It melts quite a bit in hell. I'm trying to move my head slowly so I don't jerk y'all around. Watching it on TV or a device is much different than your own eyeballs kind of following a path. We tend to move our head really fast. Our own eyes can quickly adjust to the movement when it's yourself. You're watching it. Oh no. Okay, so yeah, and I've got this headgear on, So the people that are passing, I thought, oh my gosh, I could be so embarrassed because I look so funny. I look so funny with a camera attached to my forehead. Honestly. Okay. Here's a beautiful creek and some red foliage down there. Oops, I hear. Is that a lizard? Or, oh, there goes a squirrel up the hill. I lost it. I can't see it anymore. Oh, here it's down here. I don't have any food for you guys. But anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Well, I'll go back to the other story. That the trucks took the place of the train on this trail. And so at some point then I guess the citrus was not, oh wow, look at that. The citrus stopped being as lucrative, I guess. I don't know why. Why did we quit growing citrus around here? Who knows, maybe other companies became, maybe it was Southern California. I think, yeah, Southern California was able to grow the citrus fruit better than we could. And more prolific, maybe. Oh, Stellar J, I love you. Okay, so, anyway, hi, Taylor. Hey, Blue. Getting a bit of a breeze around here this morning. I hate that. One thing about Susanville is we get a lot of breezes. And that's good in the summertime. In the winter, it's not so great. Although, I keep going popcorning around on my subjects, but the truth of it is that 40 degrees is our average in winter. And the snow will just completely melt away in town. So you never have to struggle with that horrible, dirty slush that comes in the city when you get snow. And that's nice. That's nice. Very nice. But if you want to do winter sports and you have some desire to go skiing or, you know, what do you call them? Snowmobiling. If you want to do snowmobiling, you can just, you know, go back up into the hills, and they're just so close, you know. I've got the best of all worlds. It's just incredible, the things available to me. So, I think I told you my sister was up here visiting, and she loved it so much. We had such a time this summer. We went bike riding or to the lake or both almost every single day. She wore me out. So sometimes I just have to say, okay, Linda, what? You're like 2.5 years older than me. What gives? How do you have so much energy? But I'm the first person that she's hung around that actually has as much, or, you know, could semi keep up with her. she's just, wow, nothing keeps her down. Okay, enough of the weather and the snow. It's just perfect. It's perfect in every way. Fall's not as grand as the south, and it's not as sweet as springtime, but it's definitely got its beauty. Definitely. So, alright, now, I was saying that I don't know why the citrus quit in Susanville, California, but then also at some point, because I think environmentalists and other influences have persuaded us not to take down timber as much, and I don't know, you know, why they still do it in other mountain areas. You know, I guess we're getting enough in certain places that we don't need it here too. That's one thing. And I also think it's because we opened a prison here. We have a prison. I say we because I've lived here for 2 years, and I know the history, but I wasn't here when they opened the prisons. And there was, you know, that was a very good boost for the economy, basically. So I believe there's a correctional facility, a smaller prison, and then there was another federal. I heard a cricket, and he stopped because I stopped. Darn. There he goes again, as soon as I leave. Man, I love the sound of crickets. Absolutely music to my ears. Anyway, forgot what I was saying. It's so funny. Oh yeah, so we're opened up. Okay, so there was a state, federal prison, and a correctional facility. There we go. I remember now. And so it really kept this town thriving, and it was good for everyone in the city. So the government, the state government, I believe it was, I forget how many years ago it was, the federal prison was taken out, closed. It was closed because a lot of people have a lot of different theories as to why it was closed. Some think it was political, but I'm not talking politics. I'm just telling you the history of this town. And so taking down the prison then really, really hurt the finances, the production, the well-being of this town. Gorgeous, isn't it? Gorgeous. We have people coming here, so I'm gonna stop for a second. Well, I can finish telling you that so not having the prison is causing a big hardship on this town. Ooh, Stellar J. And therefore, our prices on housing and everything here, it's labeled, if you look it up in Google it, the 10 most affordable towns in California. We're one of them because our economy is not doing well. So this is why Jerry and I were able to buy a house outright here. And it was a fixer-up, albeit, but fixer-upper. Do you hear the crickets? Can you hear that? I love that sound. And the water's just slightly. You can hear the water too. Oh my word. Here comes a beautiful gentle breeze blowing our oak leaves. Beautiful oak leaves. Stellar J. Gorgeous, gorgeous day. Stellar day. Wow. And here's our little and another tributary to the river. Beautiful. My stellars are making so much nice sound. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to show you the people. We'll go through a puddle. It's the back of these people, so it doesn't matter. No ID. Oh, look at that. So pretty for you guys. Oh, my brakes are starting to squeal really bad. Can you see in there? So gorgeous. Okay, backing up a little bit. Can you see all those acorns and shells down there? Looking off to the side here so I don't get those people in my video. But I don't want to miss this little area until I get by them. Oh, look at that tree, that trunk. That whole tree is just down, down, down. So I just passed a bunch of people. I had to miss a really pretty spot because they were right where I wanted to be, darn. And talking. Everybody's talking, and that's good. They're enjoying themselves. Isn't it beautiful here, you guys? Oh. Anyway, if, it's hard to, you kind of can't really move to this town easily without either being really tired or having an income that moves with you, work at home or look at that. Oh, you guys, look at this. They're so sparkly, so beautiful. Oh, wow. There's also kind of a nice, not just pine, but a creek smell. Very, weeds and water. I'm not going to say swamp because I don't know what a swamp smells like, but when I was growing up we had creeks, and the creeks create, with the weeds and plants all around them, create such a fragrance, such a wonderful fragrance. Wow, look at this hill. All this bracken that fell. Wow. Anyway, so that creek smell, that watery creek plant smell. There's probably a name for it, a word that describes it, but I don't know what it is. I don't want to call it swamp. But anyway, there's that wonderful fragrance going on there too. Yeah. So I've got all my senses at work right now. Like that breeze. Too much breeze. Just a little too much. As my microphone picks up everything. Just a little bit of breeze. Ooh, I hear crickets. Squeaky brakes. Hear the crickets. See the sun through the dappled sun through the yellow leaves. I'm trying to be poetic with the sound of water and crickets. Oh, happiness, happiness. I heard there's rocks on this hill. If I haven't said before that Lassen County has a national park called Lassen Volcanic National Park, and so we have a lot of volcanic rock around here, and you can see that these are just that. There's a lot of holes and barks and such in these rocks. That is all lava rock, you guys. So at some point, a volcano erupted around here. So it's just magical here, you guys. I have not been to the Lassen Volcanic National Park. We've just driven by it a couple of times on our way to Redding, California. It's off of Highway 44. Should you decide to ever come and see. Okay, I'm gonna look off to the side again because we've got another walker. I don't want to get her filmed. Cricket. I hear cricket. Okay, had a walker go by and a bicyclist. People out in profusion here today. So, and more people the better, the safer I am. Because then there won't be any human predators, and there won't be, if there are any animal predators, they'll have been scared off already by people who've walked before me, and you know what I'm saying. You've heard that story, that you just want to, when you come out into the wilderness, you only need to run faster than the person who's with you. And because the bear or the mountain lion will get the one who's slower. And it's a horrible thought, I know, but it's kind of true. So I don't want to walk with somebody who's slower. It's a terrible, terrible thought. Gosh. Okay, here's the other side of the bridge. Oh God, everything on my bike is squeaking right now. Isn't that gorgeous, you guys? Oh man, I am in absolute paradise. And speaking of paradise, that is the town in which I used to live there for 9 years, Paradise, California, and it burned down. I've probably mentioned that before, but anyway, that's where my new collaboration business is coming from. Celebrate States. I'm very, very excited about this company that I'm working with. I'm making one video a month, and I'm going to be opening up a box that has stuff from a different state every month. I'm so excited about it. And not only that, the company owner, you know, them being out of Paradise and Chico area is just perfect, because it means that that town is starting to recuperate from this horrible fire that they had. The whole area was ravaged, you know. So anyway, the owner of the company told me that there were many signups that came from my video, and you get 50% off your first order if you use my code. And I was just like, oh my God, I just love it. I love it. I love it. And they just are so wonderful to work with. Quick response to emails, and you know, I don't even know what the cost is. I don't even know. I've never even checked. I couldn't say, oh, this is affordable. I really don't know what it costs, because they're sending me a free box in lieu of making a video. So that's basically, I'm paying for it with my time, I guess. But I will make money back on that as well. So it's a win-win situation for me. But it's just, I think, how fun. Like if they ever did the state of California, which they probably already have, it would be really cool if they could get something in there from Susanville, like a product that only Susanville makes. I don't know, but California is so huge. They could divide that into 2 different states and have a completely different feeling of California, you know. Some people get the impression that California is Hollywood and beaches and movie stars and whatever, you know, San Francisco. Ooh, those cliffs are magnificent. Wow. And but they know that's Southern California, and that's not even all of Southern California. And some people might not realize that these mountains, the Sierra Nevada mountains, run almost the entire length of the state. That is one big honking mountain range, you guys. And so, if you wanted to divide the state of California into 2 different states, for whatever reason, you would divide it east from west, not north from south. As far as terrain and differences of people and attitudes or politics or whatever. Okay, another person. I have to keep my camera off to the side. It was a jogger this time. Ooh, hear those crickets? Oh, and the stellar jays. They're all just going nuts today. Wow. So beautiful. This trail has a bathroom over here. Yeah, so, yeah, it's just, north from south is completely different, and east from west is completely different. And there's every kind of terrain and growth. There's desert, there's mountains, there's ocean, there's lakes, and there are, it may be a very small area, but there is some very wet areas. No, not so much of that though, because we're west, not very much of that at all. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm hearing so many crickets. Okay, there's another trail that goes up that road. I'm not sure what goes there. But this road here goes into a campground if you follow that trail. And here's our beautiful, beautiful bird. Oh, there's so many people down there at the river. They're not close enough. You can't tell who they are, so I'm not violating privacy laws here. But anyway, gosh, it's mostly just silent and beautiful and quiet. There's a highway up there. I don't know if you can hear that truck. There's some, I just wanted to show you that river. Let's see here. Isn't that gorgeous, you guys? So beautiful. I'd show you the other side of the river, but I believe that there is a homeless person down here. Maybe I can get behind that so it doesn't show. Well, it doesn't matter that much. There's a house on the hill there. I think, oh gosh, that pine. I think I have shown you the best little bits of this first part of the Bizz Johnson Trail. This used to be a railroad. I repeat myself to tell you, this used to be railroad tracks. Can you imagine how beautiful of a ride it would be if they were passenger trains? Although I have taken a nostalgic ride on a passenger train in the mountains. Where was I? Don't remember. Oh my gosh, it was so romantic. They're dinner trains, that's what they're called. Yeah. They ride right through terrain just like this. I'm getting too much of a breeze here. you guys, that's about it. I'm going to sign off now. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.